Hello, Ebony. My name is Corey Sicky, and I watched your video critiquing the Myers Briggs Personality Test. Thank you so much for doing your critique on that, your review of that. You did an excellent job of going over the test, describing what it entailed, the different personality types that it presented to individuals. I very much enjoyed the fact that you included why it was created, that it was created for women in the workforce after World War II. So that was very interesting to see the purpose of its creation. I also very much appreciated you going into detail about why the test would be conducted. You pointing out that in counseling that you could use it to help with self-esteem, relationship issues, and life transitions, and also pointing out that it was a test that's used often in the workforce as well, to help individuals determine their personality matches with different careers and jobs. So thank you for pointing out its use. I did a little bit of research on my own because I would have liked to have seen some psychometric properties mentioned, some validity and reliability. So I went into the mental measurement yearbook, and what I found is that there's very contradictory and limited information regarding the reliability and validity of this test. Which doesn't surprise me given the type of test that it is. It would be very difficult, I think, to find those psychometric properties, but it was great concern that there wasn't a whole lot of research or conclusive research on whether it was a valid or reliable test to be used. So that did bother me somewhat. As I was listening to you and pondering how this fits with our Christian worldview and Christian counseling, it just reminded me mostly of Psalm 139, where David says, that God, He created our inmost being. He knit us together in our mother's womb. Our frame was not hidden from Him when we were made in the secret place, when we were woven together in the depths of the earth. God saw our unformed body, and all the days ordained for us were written in His book before one of them came to be. So I think that in taking a Myers Briggs personality assessment, any kind of personality assessment, first and foremost, we need to go to God because He knows us and He created us and He created our unique personalities. And so, not to take too much stock in this personality test. It can guide us and it can help us and help us to understand ourselves, but of course then we always need to go to Christ and to double check it against Him and who He created us to be. Sometimes I think there's other factors in our lives that influence our personality, so we want to make sure that we're really going back to Christ on that. And then I read an interesting article that said, how should Christians view the Myers-Briggs type indicator? So I thought that was really interesting. And the author brought up some of those similar points that we should, of course, go back to God, and ultimately reminding us that we are created in God's image. So He formed us, He created us. And secondly, the author brought up a good point about being called to do things and not using our personalities, or our what an assessment says as an excuse to not do what God has called us to do, and a reminder that God has equipped us to do whatever it is that He has called us to do. So that was a very interesting point to me as well. Thank you so much for your great assessment, and I look forward to hearing more from you. Thank you.